Welcome to The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal. I'm Mike Mittman. On today's show, a nonprofit helping those in need of a home, and how St. Luke's provides top-notch care, and an alliance to showcase our Lehigh Valley. All that and more coming up on The Peak. Not only is Oaks Farm Distillery a great place to sip a drink, they also give back to the community. Let's take a look.
Looking for something fun to do with friends or family? Come check out Oaks Farm Distillery, located in New Tripoli, Pennsylvania, for drinks, food, and farm views. Oaks Farm Distillery is a veteran-owned, family-run, farm-grown business created by Chad Butters and his wife Jody in June of 2012. After she was diagnosed with cancer. Realizing that life is short and the value of time spent together, the Butters family acted upon one of their dreams, opening a family business. When it came time to create a name for the business, they stuck close to their roots. Chad's grandfather started the tradition of signing letters to his family with a figure 8, the symbol for infinity. It also represents the 8 letters in I love you, prompting Chad and the team to use it as a sign of love and admiration for friends and family. Oaks has become a staple of this community and offers a dining and drinking experience you won't soon forget. Spread out over 75 acres, the Oaks team grows their own wheat, rye, corn, and barley. Once the crops are harvested, they ferment, distill, and bottle their beverages all on site. Oaks is committed to serving their community, which is why they've partnered with the cancer support community of the Lehigh Valley, Tales of Valor, and Farmer Veteran Coalition. A portion of their proceeds directly benefits these nonprofit organizations that are near and dear to the Butters family. When you come to Oaks Farm Distillery, you can expect a unique dining room experience and awesome locally sourced food. Come check it out for yourself. Cheers. I'm Katie, and that was a peek at the Valley.
Those drinks sure do look tasty. I'll have to try one soon. Up next, an organization providing a home and resources for families.
I started volunteering for Family Promise actually at the beginning when Klaus Ehlers from our national headquarters came and explained Family Promise. There was a woman at the meeting who gave a testimony and turned out to be a former coworker of mine. She lost her home, her children lost everything in a fire. She actually lost her job trying to get the family back together again, and I knew at that point it could happen to anyone, and I had to help.
Family Promise is an inter-hospitality health network concerned about homeless families dealing with children. I'm a former educator and administrator, and I was concerned about the number of needy students growing in the Lehigh Valley. Students would come into school either hungry or tired, sleepy, and it wasn't because they just have a lack of interest. It's the fact that they may not have eaten the night before or for days.
Family Promise came to the Lehigh Valley about 6 years ago when we found we really had a need to serve some homeless families and children.
We were thinking about how could we do this with the churches in the Lehigh Valley. Once they are selected in the program, we provide housing through our shelter for them through our various member congregations. The hosting congregation will then feed them, show hospitality, and provide them rooms. And then in the morning, we take them back to the day center, which is their residence of record, so that they have access to computers, laundry, shower, and also if they don't have a job, they use our computers to do job searches along with our case manager.
I was scared. I was feeling very, not confused, but really vulnerable. And I was really grateful for all the churches open the doors and host us and volunteer to make us feel comfortable, to get to know a little bit about us and how can they make us feel safe and warm.
It fills your heart, and when they leave, they're happy. You know, you've watched them go from a low point to a high point.
I didn't give up. I still kept pushing, and until now, I graduated from this program. I have a job that's successful, and I live in my 2-bedroom house that I am comfortable with my 3 children.
It's very rewarding to see the families come back to us and saying thank you, but also to help. They want to volunteer, they want to pass on the word.
I'm thankful for Family Promise because they were really helpful, and I really liked a lot of the churches, but I really liked the one where I was in Miss Sue's church, and she made these really good peanut butter cookies, and she would make these big batches, and everyone would sit on the couch and watch movies while we eat them.
It's wonderful that when they come into your congregation, you can just give them a hug and know that maybe when you send them out in the morning, they're going out with a smile and they're going out with some happiness.
Nothing is ever like your own home. Nothing. But Family Promise is a place where they give you opportunity, where they give you a piece of hope, where they give you some type of guidance. And if you're willing to take it, you will succeed to where you have to go in life and to begin a new chapter.
They made us feel like we were at home while we were here.
It's so heartwarming to see success coming from the hard work of staff and volunteers. Up next, St. Luke's Structural Heart Program. Stay tuned, this is The Peak. Let's take a look at this patient's heart murmur and how it brought him to St. Luke's.
It started in 2013. My family doctor, I went in for routine physical, and he said, "You have a murmur." I said, "So what? I've had one before." And he said, "Not like this." April 2019, he examined me again, and he said, "This is elective surgery. You need it. I want you to schedule it to happen in the next 6 to 12 months.
I worked for a heart surgeon for 15 years in Berks County. Unfortunately, he moved and is now retired. So I took to the internet and I did some research, and I Googled the best surgeon in Berks County, and I didn't get too much. I Googled the best surgeon in Lehigh County, and I came up with Dr. Alanchek at St. Luke's. So I told Dwayne, and I said, I think it's worth the trip out to Bethlehem, to St. Luke's, and talk to him.
Well, I first met Dwayne after he had been told by his cardiologist that the heart murmur that they had been following for years would now require an operation. He traveled pretty far to come to see us because of our specialty in mitral valve surgery. One of the things that we've incorporated and grown over the years is what's called a structural heart program. And what a structural heart program is a combination of the surgical side of things as well as the interventional cardiology side of things. We use interventional cardiologists and their skill sets combined with ours to really discuss what's the best treatment for the patients. And it allows us to approach patients in a new and exciting way.
Dr. Alanchek, he was the one who the appointment was set up with. And he was the chief of cardiovascular surgery. So I thought, that's good, we'll go with the top guy right away.
Dwayne had a heart murmur that was a result of a leaky mitral valve. And that is the valve that sits on the main pumping side of the heart. When the heart fills, that valve opens, and every heartbeat, when the heart squeezes, that valve should shut nice and tightly. And Dwayne's murmur came from that heart valve leaking. So when his heart is squeezing, blood was leaking backwards through that heart valve, creating a murmur. Dwayne needed a mitral valve repair.
Everything went the way they expected. I had no concerns when I went into the hospital. I thought I have extreme confidence in the surgical team.
I was impressed. And everybody at St. Luke's was just wonderful.
I'm glad it's over. I wish I never had heart problems, but that's the place to go because everything just went according to plan. Everybody was so nice, and they went out of their way to do whatever they could. I just thought it was great.
It was fantastic to see Dwayne after his follow-up appointment and hear how he's getting back to his regular activities. He sent us some pictures and videos of him working on his cars, driving with was pretty sweet convertible. It's really rewarding to see him back to the hobbies that he enjoys and that type of activity.
Joining me today is Ellen Amadeo, a nurse and coordinator of the Structural Heart Valve Program at St. Luke's University Health Network. Ellen, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Ashley. I was very excited when I heard that I would have the opportunity to speak with you about one of my most passionate titles.
Well, speaking of, tell us about the Heart Valve Program. What is it and what does it do for patients?
It is a group of experts, both on the cardiology side as well as the cardiac surgery side, that collaborate and look at patients who have valve diseases and come up with a best plan for these patients as far as interventions, treatments, etc.
It's a very individualized plan based on each patient's needs. Why is that so important? And why is it important for patients to know more about their heart health? And how does this program help them do that?
It is very individualized. Number one, each patient has their own issues, and they may be comorbidities besides the fact that they have valvular heart disease. There are various valves in the heart, so depending on which area of the heart that's affected, you want to make sure that we're addressing the correct issue. Sometimes patients have multiple valvular diseases, and so again, we want to make sure that the team is well aware of looking at what this patient's specific issues are.
Tell me a little bit about the team and the services you're able to provide.
So the team, it compromises not just the cardiac surgeons and the cardiologists, but all of those who are doing the testing. So whether it's in an invasive testing, such as the cardiac cath lab, or in the non-invasive settings where they would do echocardiography, it involves the members of all of them, as well as the teams at the various cardiology offices. The primary care physician plays an important role in this also, because they have been following the patient much longer than typically even the cardiologist. So this team just works very well together in identifying what's going on with the patient, what are the patient's specific needs, and then, as I said, collaborating on coming up with a best plan for these patients.
You mentioned communication and collaboration, and also technology. Why are those three things so critical to the success and health of your patients?
No matter what we're doing, it's so essential to have clear communication. And for our team, and here at St. Luke's, we do have Epic as an electronic medical records. So it's great because anybody who has access to Epic can see the information on our patients. And that goes outside of the St. Luke's system also. Very typically, our valve team members will just pick up a telephone and call somebody if it's something that has to be known right away.
What about technology? You guys are always innovating over at St. Luke's. What are some of the technologies that are used and why are they important?
There's always something new coming down the pike. And that is one of the great things about our structural heart and valve program is we not only are constantly looking at the latest technology, but we have industry coming to us and saying, what are you thinking? These are some of the things that are in development stages. These are some of the things that were, maybe released within the next couple of years. What are your thoughts on them? So we do have a great handle on technology, on current, and on future being, within the pipeline.
Tell me why you would recommend this program to patients and really why people should consider getting their heart checked out.
I work with a phenomenal team, not just the heart surgeons and the cardiologists and the interventionalists, but people across St. Luke's, many of them who just reach out to me to tell me, hey, we have this patient, how soon can you get them in? I feel like we are constantly being able to meet patients' needs, actually help them get their issues addressed.
Perfectly said, Ellen. And thank you so much for joining us and for telling us more about the Structural Heart Program at St. Luke's. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ashley.
Stay tuned. You're watching The Peak.
Let's hear from the Harvey family about their successful journey through New Bethany Ministries.
When we walked through the doors of New Bethany's, I was actually pregnant with our youngest daughter. Yes. And I actually had her while we were living and residing at New Bethany's. My husband and I, we worked for a very reputable company, and the company went out of business. As a result of us losing our place of employment, we also lost our house
and everything.
But we're thankful, and what meant most to both of us, I think when we look back at it, is that going to New Bethany's, we didn't have to separate.
It's really special to us to even be able to say anything about New Bethany's. I've always been truly grateful. Then they had like different little programs with money managing and stuff like that. They let us be a part of that. And there's a lot of other opportunities that was offered to us, like through housing. When we own our home today, you know, we've been given another chance because New Bethany gave us a chance. Our ministry actually started at a breakfast program at New Bethany's. So for New Bethany's to open up the door for us,
that we could begin and go forward in our ministry. We're just so forever grateful and thankful.
I love the fact that they meet people right where they're at. Not only meet you right where they're at, they try to provide you with some services or tell you something where you'll be able to get the kind of help that you need.
We want the community to know that New Bethany's Ministries is here, and it's here to help the community.
Yes.
Right on?
Yes, amen.
The Made Possible in Lehigh Valley Alliance continues to ensure that the area is a great place to live, work, and play.
The time has come that we tell a consistent message the same way about the quality of life, attractiveness, and the unique place that is the Lehigh Valley. We are joining together and creating an alliance for a marketing campaign called Made Possible in Lehigh Valley. We here in the Lehigh Valley know how great we are. It's now time to get the outside world to know all these special qualities of the Lehigh Valley.
Made Possible to us is the next level. We've seen the success from in terms of venues that we have in the valley, the quality of life has improved. Now it's to get other people to understand that. So people are willing to bring conferences here, to use our venues, to move here, to grow their business here. So it's really the next phase of this Lehigh Valley evolution.
It's a storytelling campaign that we are working on together with the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber, Lehigh Valley Economic Development Corporation, and of course Discover Lehigh Valley. It's a collaborative effort to try to get one message out. When I look at the Lehigh Valley, I see that there's so much pride of the Lehigh Valley. So this campaign gives us an opportunity to tell the stories of why they selected the Lehigh Valley, what makes this place a good place to live, work, and play.
There's so many amazing assets across the Lehigh Valley, and I think if we are just shouting individually about what it is we do, it is harder to hear than if we are the chorus singing out to the rest of the world about why you should come here.
It's not meant to compete with the company brand. However, it's going to tell the story, and if we have a consistent message across the Lehigh Valley, we're going to have a stronger impact on new residents coming to the Lehigh Valley.
The outside world needs to know more about us, and the only way to do that is to tell our story in a unified way across organizations, companies, institutions, and colleges.
We see ourselves as the community provider. 60% of our students stay in the Lehigh Valley. The colleges that make up the Lehigh Valley colleges are a powerhouse, and you have every kind of school available. It is really one-stop shopping in a wonderful urban environment.
Other businesses and organizations should get on board with Made Possible in Lehigh Valley because we are all trying to recruit and retain the creative workforce to help us build our success for tomorrow.
We're all looking for the same thing. We're looking for visitors, we're looking for talent, and we're looking for people to live and invest into the Lehigh Valley.
The resolve and the grit of this community to make it and make it possible demonstrates the capabilities of this, that they're not going to be knocked out. This is a phenomenal Renaissance story, and it shows that anything's made possible as long as you have people who have grit and determination.
Made Possible says, first to ourselves, we made it, and it's possible. And I think now to tell the universe, we've made it, and it's made possible here in the Valley.
There's no place like the Lehigh Valley. I'm so happy to call it my home. To learn more about anything on today's show, just go to our website, thepeaktv.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great week, and remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak. I knew that. I could hear a motorcycle somewhere. I heard it, but I couldn't tell you where it was going. This is a dangerous area here. I'm so happy to call it my home. Yeah, well, now I forgot. Not right now. Not right at this moment. Okay.
The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.
Liked what you saw? Subscribe to our channel so you never miss another video.
To see more of The Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.